Uh, Protocol having already been established, I want to introduce myself as Jamal Baker. I'm the Financial Center Manager at Fidelity Bank on Frederick Street. My colleague is accompanying me today, Gabrielle Roll. Thank you, Director Williams. Good day, Mr. Lightburn, and good day, all staff. So today we want to talk about, and I see the theme, and it's a great theme that is put place, and we want to talk about what is this? Your finances, sorry. We talked about the health with nurse. Now we're going to talk about managing your finances. This is something that, if you look back through your high school days and through all the school, this is one topic that is not really covered, right? As soon as you graduate, you say, oh, you got to get a job, right? But then what do you do with this money that you're in charge of, right? I have my colleague, Ms. Roll, I'm going to let you, she has some forms she's going to give out. I want you all to fill them out and bring them back at the end when we finish, please. All right. You all can see this on the board? This is the payday circle of life. This is the payday circle of life. Tell me if this ever happened. Payday reach. I'm a millionaire. What you do? You treat yourself. You carry the girls out, carry the boys out, you go drinking, and you be like, I'm rich. Let me do this for myself. And then before you know it, that one evening with the boys or that one night out with the girls, $300, $400, $500 gone. And then you're like, let me be responsible. And then what happens? Man, hey, what they working for? Man, hey, y'all make a trip? Y'all make a trip? Let's go. You make this trip, and what happened? All of a sudden, 2 weeks pass and you're broke. You got 2 weeks till payday again, and at that point, you asking for help. Help, help, help. You go to your mommy, your brother, your sister, auntie, uncle, whoever you could. And you know what happens during that time? This is what happens. This is the end result of that. It's called debt. You end up borrowing money. You end up borrowing money that you have to repay. Now, I can tell you, not all debt is bad debt because it's a necessity, right? Debt is almost a necessity. But when you can manage it, that's where you have, that's when it's good, all right? And so what we do at Fidelity Bank is we offer free financial coaching. I don't know if you're all aware of that. We have some people in this world that actually pay people to tell them what to do with their money. They're called financial advisors. You all aware of them, those people? Financial advisors. And so what we do at Fidelity Bank is actually a free thing. We offer free financial coaching to clients and non-clients. So you don't have to be a client to get free financial coaching from Fidelity Bank. So we offer it to our customers and non-customers. We offer financial planning, budget planning, retirement requirements, estate planning and laws of inheritance, as well as investment products through our affiliate RF Bank and Trust. All right? So we have a few financial principles we want to talk about, but we're going to think about this, why you should save and invest. I want to kind of rush through this because I know that time is already kind of gone. But why should you save and invest? To be in control of your life. If you have money, you have control. It's when you don't have that money, you don't have that control over your life. To fund your goals, to develop yourself personally and professionally, to be happier and enjoy life. Why should you save and invest? As much of us like to go to the number houses, I don't know, ain't everyone can hit the lick. So you actually need to save and invest. All right? I want you all to repeat this with me. A goal without a plan is just a wish. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Say it one more time. A goal without a plan is just a wish. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So, if you have a goal in life, you don't have a plan in place, you think that goal will happen? The scripture says, and I'm not the pastor, but it says, make the vision plain, right? And like minister say, I am the son of a pastor. But the scriptures say, make the vision plain. You got to write it down. You got to write it down if you want to come to fruition, all right? And so what we do, this is some of our forms that we have. We actually go through your specific financial goals. What do you want out of life? What do you want to achieve? Do you want a new home? You want a new car? You want to send your children to school? You want to get married? You want to have children? What do you want to do? We discuss this with you during this financial coaching session to see what your goals are, right? So the thing is to always begin with the end in mind when you have goals. Many of you been on the job for some time, right? I've been on banking now a little over 25 years. If I had some goals from when I started, who knows where I could have been in life, But these are your goals. I want you all to take note of this. A goal without a deadline is a fantasy. A goal plus a deadline is an objective. A goal plus a deadline and a plan is intention. A goal plus a deadline plus a plan and consistent action is equal to success. But this is the end goal. Meaningful goals, deadline, plan, consistent action is fulfillment. Again, I want to reference back to what I heard earlier. If you know some of the sacrifices some people had to go through to get what they get, y'all wouldn't want to go through it. But when they have a goal, they had goals. They had goals. And they put their plans in action. They gave themselves a deadline. They had consistent action, and they fulfilled it. So you can't be mad at certain people when you see them getting things in life. You have to have a goal in place, and you have to put a plan in place and have consistent action to achieve that. And in order to do that, we all need a budget, because I'll tell you about 90% of our goals entails some sort of money, some sort of cash, right? And this says a budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. How many of you, when you break that 100, you don't know where the rest gone? You break 100 and, hold on, I only spend $10. What? Hold on. You won't know where the rest of the money gone, right? That has happened. You know why that's happened? Because you don't have a budget in place. You don't have a budget in place. You should be budgeting. You should be budgeting where each dollar goes. And guess what you should be doing first? You actually should be paying yourself first. But this is why budgets are necessary. This is an acronym that we came up with. All right, at Fidelity might say, for bank loans, mortgage, rent, lease. U for utilities. D, desires, delights, and dependence. Now, somebody tell me before desires and delights is cost, dependence. So you got to be mindful of that, because all of that is money. All right? Goals, government. E for energy. T for tithe and giving. And S for salary, savings, and security. This is why you need a budget in place. Anything you're doing in life should fall under one of those categories, okay? Anything you're doing in life should fall under those categories. We have a suggested budget plan that we talk about. All right? 10% should go to tithe and giving. 10% should go to your own personal savings. Before you do anything, you should pay yourself first. What's the first thing every Bahamian say they got to do when they get paid?
Pay their tithes.
Pay their tithes? I never hear no one say that. What's the first thing they say they got to do? Pay your bills. But guess what? First thing you should do is pay yourself. Well, I put tithing first, but I never hear no one say it. But you take out your tithes, that's what I was taught, and then you take out something for yourself. Pay yourself, because you should have something to go fall back on. The scripture say you should be the what? And not the... All right, so again, biblical references, it teaches a lot about life. So debts and loans is 40%, and necessities, we all know about, Maslow hierarchy of needs. You have different needs and necessities that you want to get out of life. So 40% towards that, 40% on loans, debt, mortgage, your rent, etc. 10% to tithe, and savings is another 10%. Now, this gentleman's name is Warren Buffett. Now, before all of the craze came about with online YouTubers and Instagram and all of these things, this was the first billionaire I knew. Before Facebook and all that came about, this was the first billionaire I heard of, right? And he is saying, don't save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. So what is that telling you again? Pay yourself first. Don't go pay the bill. You should have a budget for the bills. But you also should have a budget in place for yourself. Pay yourself first. So if you're making $2,000 a month, you can't say I'm making $2,000 a month. You have to say I'm making $1,800 a month. Because that $200 automatically has to go in an account that you don't touch. All right? That's how this works. All right? So we have some suggested budget plans in place we could talk about when y'all come see me, but I won't talk about all of that. This is how our budget form looks. How many of you have a personal budget? Let me see you raise your hands. All right, that's less than 2% of the room. So what that means? That means you live in willy-nilly. That means you live in life as it comes. If you live in life as it comes, it could be hard for you to have a goal and achieve your goals. And then you could be looking at people and saying, I wonder how they did this, I wonder how they did that. Folks, really and truly, you need to have a goal and a plan in place. You can't just exist, all right? You can't just exist. You talk about as your soul prosper, we want to prosper. We want to be prosperous. But we have to have goals in place. Okay, I want a house. I want a house in 10 years. This is the plan. Every month, I can save $300, right? If you start a job when you're 20 and you want to get a house at age 30, 300 times 12. 3 times 12 is 36, right? That's 3,600. 3,600 times 10. That's 36,000. 36,000 you save in that 10 years. That's your down payment for your home. That's your legal fees and closing costs and all of that. But you have to have a plan in place. It's beginning with the end in mind. So if you're 20 and by 30, if you start the government job at 20, by 30 you could have your own home. But you have to have the plan in place. All right, it has to be in place. So this is a part of the forms that we have. We have various means of income, your salary, bonus, overtime, income from other jobs, all of that stuff. Business income, even income from your spouse. All right? And this is all the different ways that we spend that income. There's only about 4 or 5 real ways we make money, but look how much ways money come out. You got gifts, tithes, offerings, donations, housing, rent, maintenance, care for the elderly, electricity, cable, water, light, dining out, medicine, insurance, housekeeper, pet expenses, laundry, all of these things, right? Think about this. I ask people when we do this form, y'all have any habits and addictions? People think, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do those things. But guess what? You just go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts every morning, right? That's an expense. That's a habit. Y'all just go online and shop the Shein and what the next place is near? Temu and who? Fashion Nova. And all these things, y'all shop on Amazon and Walmart. Y'all addicted to online shopping. So y'all spending money and you didn't know y'all spending money and you didn't know where your money going. Right? All of this is how you lose money. If you don't have a budget in place, this is how your money disappears. So when you see your colleague, oh, she 35 and she got a house. I know she get this house. Right? People hustling, they working, they sacrificing, they dedicated, and they have their goals in place. All right? So what we do, we want to talk about that particular account to help you get there. This is our different accounts, various accounts. And just to open an account, all you need is your passport and $100, right? Or if you don't have your passport, your driver's license. If you don't have your driver's license, your voter's card and your NIB card, all right? Just to open an account. If you're a foreigner, all you need to show is some material connection to the Bahamas, your work permit, your NID card, and your foreign passport. It's very easy to establish an account. So this is different types of accounts we offer. Our regular savings, preferred savings, ASU savings, all of these things. But what we want to talk about right now is our ASU savings, right? Everyone know what an ASU is, right? Everyone know what an ASU is? Yes. All right, thank you. Yes, we do. ASU help build communities, help send children to school, help you go on trips, help you have a down payment for your first home, right? It's ingrained into the very fabric of Bahamian communities. That's what an ASU is. And so instead of having an ASU with you and 9 other of your colleagues or friends, one decide to skip town and go to Canada or move to the States, or so happenly, conveniently, they had an emergency and can't make their payment. We have an ASU savings plan that you save with yourself. What do you get out of an ASU when you put it into an ASU? What do you get out of it? Pardon? You only get out of it what you put in. So if you throw in $100 a month for 12 months, you only getting $1,200. Sometimes you're actually getting less because the person who owns an ASU, they need to get something out of that, right? So at Fidelity Bank, we actually pay you to save. We actually pay you to save. So what is 1%? 1% ain't much, but it's better than 0%. Or better than negative, because of what the person got to get. But if you say you open up an ASU savings account with Fidelity Bank, it's 6 or 12-month terms, and you could have as many ASU savings accounts as you wish, right? One for travel, one to send your children to school, one in a year from now to say, okay, this is a down payment on the property, right? You open it with $100, and every month you put a minimum of $50 into this account. And at the end of it, actually interest is accrued daily, you will pay interest on what you have saved, whether it matures at 6 months or 12 months. So you get your hand at the end of that 12-month period or the end of that 6-month period. You got me? So you could have your own ASU, and we actually paying you to save. The only way you're not going to the only way you will be penalized if you close this account early, because it's almost like a contract. So it's just $27.50 to do that. However, if you keep it to maturity, you get your full interest and you get what you put in. All right? So this is the account to have. This is the account to have, the ASU savings account. Now, I want to talk to you all about this benefits of a regular savings. Benefits of a regular savings. I did a talk with some barbers, beauticians, and nail techs, right? Let me tell you all something. Those people just make money. Y'all know that? They just make a lot of money. But guess what? The banks don't know that. Because why? What they just do? Keep it right in their pocket. They don't never care to the bank. So you have a lot of people who are entrepreneurs saying they're having a hard time getting a home, this, that, and the next. But they just make a lot of money, right? And I did this to show them, this is something I put together for them. And it can be used for anyone, right? So the example is, let's use one of you. You want to get a house in 5 years. In 5 years, if you save with a partner, let's say, or yourself, $400 a month in 5 years, $400 a month in 5 years equals to $24,000 in a 5-year period. So 4 times 12 is what? What it is? 48, right? 48 times 5 is 24. 4,800 times 5 is $24,000 in a 5-year term. So if you start your job today and you say, listen, man, I want to get a house in 5 years, you could be very aggressive with your savings, That's a goal, that's a plan, and that's a deadline. So that's what you just did. Those things are all possible. But you have to begin with the end in mind, and actually write this down and say, this is what I want to do. You can't wake up one morning and come see me and say, oh, I want a house. How you could tell me you want a house if you're 50, you have no savings, you have debt up to to I don't know what. But now all of a sudden you want a house. I just being real. You have to have the goal, the deadline, and the plan in place to make this happen. It could happen, you know. I've seen it happen for people. I've made it happen for people. But they have to be consistent. If I meet with you and I say, okay, this is the goal. In 5 years, come see me. We can make this happen. Now, I don't know what property prices could be like in 5 years. I don't know what the price of home ownership could be like. But I can tell you, if we put the plan in place, we could put a savings aside and we could have that down payment. And every year when you get a raise or if you get a promotion, you could add more to it. It doesn't have to be that set amount. All right? I found this online. It says, well, I put that caption there. Save your money. One day your money may save you. Sometimes people who have money, you don't see them stressing or worrying about nothing, right? Because they actually have a plan in place. This guy, he don't have any money. So he actually struggling to make it through the different steps of life. This guy saved some money, and he using his money to propel him to where he have to be. That could be like that for all of us. I could be honest, I've been in banking since 1999. I started at Barclays Bank, and I'll tell you, I really didn't learn about what real savings and commitment to goals and financial planning is until I started working to Fidelity Bank in 2017, right? And so I would tell you all, this is something that's not taught. You don't just learn it unless you're in this industry. But this is something that we all can do. It's just having that conversation. Nurse knows about health. I know about finances. I'm a banker. I had a nurse tell me, I was trying to tell her to save, and she's like, I ain't checking for you. Say, let me be honest. You will see things in dollars and cents. I see things in life and death. This is what a nurse tell me in the office. And I understand her point of view, right? But then if you live in, you could still need those dollars and cents. So she was trying to get some money from me for a loan for an all-white party for her 34th birthday. And I was saying, hey, this ain't making no sense. Why are you doing this? And that's when she told me that, right? But you still gotta live, right? But if you telling me you want to get a house, how you get a house if you need 10 grand to throw an all-white party? You just have to have your priorities in order is what I'm trying to say. And that's what I'm trying to say to everyone. Have your priorities in order, have your goal, have a plan and have a deadline in place to get to where you need to be. You can come see me. We are at Fidelity Bank, Frederick Street. If you see the police or security out there, just tell them you come to see Baker. All right? Don't mind but the parking. We are parking in the back. All right? Listen, so this is what all I'm trying to say, all right? So save your money. One day your money may save you. All right? So, of course, we have different products and services. We have our cards. We have debt consolidation and all of this going on at Fidelity Bank. But the main thing is, like I said, I want to talk to you all about is managing your finances and having that financial mindset that your goals and dreams are actually attainable. All right? So this is all our loans and stuff, like I mentioned. Real estate. We have personal loans. Of course, we have debt consolidation loans, etc. But I want to mention this to y'all. We actually have a zero-down lot loan program, right? So if your deduction can accommodate the deduction for the lot as well as the legal fees, we will give you that loan. All right? We will give you that loan. So a lot of people want a piece of property, but they don't have the down payment. And again, that comes with having a consistent budget and a plan in place. Come to us, let's talk about both of those things, the budget, the plan, and access to possibly getting a lot loan, okay? All right, so I'm going to end with one thing. Of course, we have debt consolidation loans, etc. But when you do get into a pickle, we put those debt together and we actually have a built-in saving that pays you 5% on that debt consolidation loan, right? But I'm not going to touch too much on that. I want to mention one more thing, and it's about retirement. And it's about what happens when you get into that age. You all know you don't have to be 65 to retire. How many of y'all know that? I just want to touch on this and then I'll go sit down. But y'all can see this? Y'all can see the screen, right? It says retirement is not a function of age. Retirement occurs when you can wake up each morning and do what you want to do, with whom you want to do it with, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, because you have the money to do it. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? It's not a function of age. Minister, you could retire today, right? I will put you on the spot. You had all those jobs. Hey, I know you've been saving some money. But listen, people, if you save, you don't have to work to 65. You want to live. If nurse saying you getting these diseases at 42, you only make it at 65. I'm just saying, y'all can start saving today. No, man, it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. 42, I listened to him. His aunt fought until 46. So you still have to save this money and live, right? It's not a function of age. So save the money, find different ways of income, passive income, or on the weekends I do construction. Every weekend I on a construction site. And people don't know that. But that's what I do. That's what I come up doing in my family. That's actually how I get into banking, because I want to get out the sun. But every weekend I still do construction with my family. Listen, these are the pillars of retirement. These are the pillars of retirement. I can leave you all with this. Pension. I think Leno is going to touch on that. Savings and national insurance. Now, I ain't going to touch on national insurance. But one thing you can be guaranteed of is your own personal savings. That's the only thing I can guarantee you will have when it's time for retirement. All right? I won't touch on any of those other two, but that's why I put savings in the middle. Because you could wait on your gratuities. How long they take to come when you retire? I don't know. It could take long, but if you have money, you don't have to worry about that. All right? So, I'll leave you all with that. I have any time for 2 questions? No? Okay, I don't have time for 2 questions. But this is my contact right here on the board, on the screen, sorry. And my name is Jamal Baker. That's my colleague, Gabrielle Roll. We're at Fidelity Bank, Frederick Street. Y'all come see us. Tell the security or the police, y'all come to see one of us. And they can find the parking.